Do.
Good day to you. I had to think about that. Welcome to the Magical Human Show. This is Beltane and the full Willow Moon. It's all happening today. And I am Claire the Oily Witch, and this is
June Tranmer, acupuncturist, kinesiologist, flower essence practitioner, teacher, um, and gardener, because that's
I
what's happening today.
right. I've decided I'm just going to call myself a witch. I've gone back to just being a
Oh, I
witch.
like it. Green witch, lovely.
The
Yeah,
reason being, June, is because I do so many things and I just get like you. And when I'm sitting there trying to explain to people, I just say, listen, I went to a business networking meeting yesterday. I am just what traditionally people would have come and seen when they had problems of the mind, body, and soul. You would have come to
yep,
someone like me, and I
yep,
would have helped you to get well.
yep.
How I do that is a mixture of different things, but it's just, it gets
Yes,
complicated.
ask me if you want the details, which is why I'm June Tranmer Wellbeing, really, but I just thought I'd take the longer route today. And I'm not sure why my phone keeps beeping. I think it's my daughter. We've been discussing gardening things because guess what? There's
What?
a drought in her part of Thailand, and they've diverted the water. This is really interesting. They've diverted all the water away from agriculture to homes. So everybody is going to really seriously down there going to have to start growing their own food because there's not going to be any crops.
Interesting.
Yes,
I mean, we've got a drought as well. Do you think this is by design?
I do. I'm going to say it straight. We haven't had any streaks in the sky lately, but I think that that's okay, they've changed their tactics because they know people are talking about it and they're flat out denying that they're doing it. But there's also a lot of people energetically interfering with that, prayers, meditations, whatever. And there apparently is some guy who's I'm not a fan of sending up interfering other technologies because we don't know what we're messing. Why can't we just leave nature alone? Is my feeling. And Iran is having torrential downpours ever since ever since they took out the whatever it is in the United Arab Emirates. There was a monitoring station that was doing stuff to them, and they were in a massive drought, and they were considering evacuating from Tehran until the rain suddenly started. Fascinating. It's just worth observing. We can't necessarily draw conclusions without evidence and without proof. But when you hear reports like this, you start going, join the dots.
Mm,
It,
absolutely.
it's,
And,
mm,
it's a truth you have to listen with your heart and your soul as
mm,
whether to judge for yourself whether that's the truth. I really am convinced that people are living their own versions of truth. So it's like choose the world you wish to live in and then go from there. And yeah, that people might go, well, that's very blasé, Claire. But it's like, what are you going to send energy to? And yes, I do believe these things are happening, genuinely happening, absolutely happening.
yeah. Well, I have a friend who voiced the same thing to me that I was saying for many years. The people in Gaza are not choosing their reality. However, however, I do believe that those souls have volunteered to be there at this time to help us all learn compassion.
And I think that's it. And I just got a message there was the fact that people they volunteer exactly for the overarching kind of journey intention. They
Yeah.
don't know how that's going to play out. The granular details happen down here on Earth because there's 7 billion people on this Earth, all with
Mm.
their own sense of power, whether they recognize it or not. So
Yeah.
what actually plays out, it will be a version of what the intention. was. So
Mm,
you're right.
mm.
They wouldn't have chosen to suffer at this level. However, it's part of a bigger story.
Yes. And they're doing it for the whole of humanity and for the sake of, well, the whole, you know, everyone, the whole universe, whatever that stretches to. We all
I
belong to the whole galaxy. It's not just this little planet either.
But I do think that everyone's playing out their version of difficulty at the moment. I mean, in fact, that's not true, but as in because some people at the moment are absolutely having the best time. The fire and air people are really flying. We just happen to be water, June. So, although you've got fire hands, so you're probably okay. But
I've got fire hands and I've got a lot of air. I've got Aquarius rising.
well, that kind of energy, when people
Mm,
have a lot of fire and air in a fiery season, like
mm,
when skies are on fire,
mm,
etc., is
mm,
really kind of playing to some people. It's really making them blossom and come into themselves. And
mm.
then there's other people, the water earth people, who are feeling a bit scorched and a
And
bit kind of,
exhausted.
yeah, and a bit dehydrated. The water people are feeling really tumultuous. It's like, oh my
Mm,
God, what's going on? Stirred up.
mm.
Scorpio
Yeah.
full moons are going to do that anyway, stir everything up. Um,
Mm,
Willow is about the self. It's Celtic tree moon number 5. Willow is also the tree of love. So we've got the tree of love in Scorpio, number 5, about the self. Lovely flexible roots. Willow's really protective. We know it gives pain relief with the salic acid that's taken from
mm,
its bark. It's a really good medicinal tree. Drinking it's very good as well for the body. Boundaries. If you remove willow trees from the earth, you literally cause flooding. They hold the earth together, so they give the water some kind of way to structure itself. You take that away, it loses it and it just goes everywhere. It's got no kind
mhm,
of,
mhm,
spreads itself too thinly.
mhm.
So, and it repels lightning, willow.
Yeah.
Then you got Scorpio diving deep, the Plutonic, ruled by Pluto. Plutonic sign, as you well know, Scorpio is all about revealing the mysteries, getting to the bottom of things, letting those deep emotions come up. So a full moon is like, whoo, but this one's quite a dark full moon because it's a Scorpio moon. So it's the dark
Mm,
side of seeing what's in the dark, basically, a massive flashlight going,
mhm,
ooh, let's look at the bottom of your well. So people are feeling quite kind of like, oh, but if you
mm.
anchor into the willow roots, you anchor into your heart because 5 is the number of the heart, 5 is the number of Leo, Leo is fire. Can you see where this all goes? It's
I
like
like
courage.
this. Yeah.
It's like stand steady, ground into willow, get your flashlight on in your third eye, over the top of your well. What's deep down there? Let it come up, cry it out, and then, walk into the light. Now, this is also the union of masculine and feminine. Beltane is the celebration of the fecundity of the union of earth and sun.
Yeah.
So, earth and fire. So, you've got a lot of kind of beautiful passion around it, and people that are on their own. I say it's about self-love. Now, the skies would say that too, because we've got Neptune, Saturn, Chiron, Mars, and Mercury in Aries all saying, hey, what about you? Where are you? Who are you? So you've got this kind of whole baptism of self going on under a number 5, under a Scorpio. We all know with ourselves what is actually limiting us is ourselves. So if we can flashlight on what
Mhm,
those things are that are limiting us, that we keep in the depths, the trunk that we've buried at the bottom of the sea, we can rise some of them up and clear them. That'll help us be more in the light with more ease because we are limitless, powerful beings.
mhm.
End
And
of
not
my
to be
spiel.
afraid of them because they are part of us. And we
Yeah,
have
we can't
spent
get rid of them
ages
either.
burying them because we want to be the nice people. And actually, not really look at that stuff that we did that wasn't so nice. But, actually atonement to ourselves for not being our best selves sometimes, just actually apologize to ourselves and say, it's okay. You made a mistake.
Well, how are we going to learn if we don't make mistakes?
Exactly.
But also,
Exactly.
we are a mirror of the world. We cannot be perfect. We cannot be pure because we wouldn't be able to
No.
survive here. We have to have the
Mm.
balance.
Exactly right. Well, the energy level thing is quite interesting because I waver between being utterly exhausted and having to lie down. And so I listen to that and I do it whenever I can. And then like this morning, I got up and I've been firing on all cylinders, rushing around, watering things, weeding things, planting things, clearing things, tidying because the family's coming tomorrow as well. So I've got motivation for that. But yeah, I just feel really, really energized. And I've got my fire pit out and I'm going to burn some redundant stuff shortly. We've got another full moon coming at the end of the month as well. I
Do.
heard them both referred to as mini moons because they're the opposite of the super moons. They're not as close because they're further away on the ellipsis or something.
You will be the leader on that one. I'm not aware of that, but I have been unwell for the last week and a half.
Ah,
So I have been under par with scorpionic type problems. Well, not
right.
well, gut problems.
Yeah,
So, and that is the Scorpio rules the kind of genitalia and the lower aspect
yeah,
of the gut. So it's
yeah.
like, oh, okay, I'm literally going through this on a physical level, which the body holds the energy. So there is that. But that has meant that I'm kind of just very much in my own flow. I'm a bit out of kind of the collective loop. Not entirely,
Yeah.
though. I am aware of some of the things that are going on and people's frustrations.
Oh yeah. And I think it was Pam who said this in a passing comment because the second moon in a month is the blue moon as well, isn't it? Which I love. But yeah, I mean, going back to the genesis of this chat, it was the magical shit show.
It was,
If
thank
you
you, Julie. Yes,
recall,
it was.
back to guts. I mean, I've also had digestive things going on and just clearing of old things, shall I say.
Yes,
Really interesting. Mm,
mine has grounded me. I have not been able to work very much. So that has been quite debilitating. But,
mm.
sometimes that is necessary. Spirit puts a massive thumb on us and goes, no,
Sit still
sit still, suck it up, or not suck it up, and
or let it out.
let it out and just purge yourself. Yes,
Yeah.
it's just a I think it's just a challenging time. I think a lot of people are feeling quite flayed by the energy. And
Hmm.
also we were talking last night in circle about feeling like there's been kind of stop signs on initiatives for some of us that we have thought would go ahead. They haven't
Yeah.
flowed as well as was the expectation. And with Saturn being in Aries, the real message there for anybody that's had that experience is it's not a no, it's a make sure you've got everything right. Make sure the foundations are really, really solid as you go forward. And the Neptune aspect in Aries is saying make sure that it's fitting, it's aligning with your soul. I've been noticing hearts have got names this week over the last couple of weeks, actually, that people's hearts have their own names. Mine is called Alan. And it's quite interesting when I ask people to put their hands, as I was doing last night, on their heart and on their gut for this kind of celebration. I put my right hand on my heart, which is the masculine, and I was noticing who'd put their left hand on their heart. And there was a man that had put his left hand on their heart, and there was another woman that had put her left hand, and then there was another person who put another woman who put her right hand on the heart. And I was saying, it's
Mm,
interesting. I wonder if those hearts are more feminine or more masculine, because the soul, when it reincarnates, can be masculine or feminine. It can
mm,
choose a different sex. And
mm,
generally, I think it's likely to slightly identify more with one than the other, but it's supposed to be, like Mercury, neutral.
mm.
Um, but I just thought that was interesting.
Just,
Lion is a masculine sign, Leo. Sun is masculine, but, left people more soft feminine hearts. So interesting.
mm.
More to ponder.
So names for hearts. I like this. Well, yeah, I'm going to go and have a think about this afterwards. because I can feel it's time for me to have a little rest after my manic gardening and messaging with my daughter about her gardening because she's just starting her gardening journey and in a
A
completely
different
different
culture and time.
environment, weather and soil and everything. So I'm doing what I can to support her, but she has to find her way. She's replacing her lawn with something called peanut something, and it has little yellow flowers in it, and it makes a really good ground cover, which is what she might have thought was a better idea in the first place, but she put down what they advised her to put down.
I was just looking up what the names are of the fairies and Sleeping Beauty, and they are
Ah,
Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather.
you did say Merryweather, didn't you?
And I think, well, I don't know if I said Millicent, but I think that, and Maleficent is the naughty one. But I was thinking
Oh,
if I was going to give your heart a name, it would be Merryweather,
who's the naughty one?
Maleficent.
Oh, like Maleficent, like,
Yeah, that's what it was
no, I
made
don't
for,
want to be
wasn't
that
it?
one.
No, you're not that one. So
That's
you're,
connected to Satan. Woo,
I think
no.
you're, well, it's who is Satan? You see, Satan is,
Oh, well,
well, I just don't believe in Satan. Satan is supposed to be Saturn. So that's the origins of that. And that's the kind of, constrictor. Have you got this right? Have you got the structure? Have you got the
there's that.
foundation, the
Yeah.
cooling influence? Lucifer and Satan get mixed up all the time. Lucifer is the kind of, goat. So again, actually, Lucifer, when he's done with the horns, that's the goat of Saturn, which was a unicorn, was given two horns to make it more scary. Um,
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about this right now, and I feel like some people are actually toying with dark magic, and
and
it's not good.
they've been doing that for bloody thousands of years, June.
I know, but currently it's under discussion a lot more.
Oh, people are becoming more aware of
Yes,
satanic
yes,
practices or the satanic, the blood rituals,
them.
all of that in order, because we've got a whole agenda to go anti-aging. I want to look
Yep,
younger than I am. It's like,
yep.
this whole thing is going on about how we reverse our aging. Actually, I had my heart checked yesterday, and Alan's only 47, so he's doing quite well. But that is from diet and vitamins and practicing what I preach. That's not from trying to consciously anti-age.
No,
And what is that?
we owe
What
it
is
to
that?
ourselves to look after the body that we've been given and
Absolutely.
make sure it lasts as long as possible so we can do what we're here to do. It's no good abusing it and then going, oh, woe is me, somebody fix me. I'm getting really tired of that. I have promised people in the past that I would help them overcome the things that they've done to themselves. And I'm kind of really getting ready to whoop their asses and go, who's got the responsibility here, people? You do, but in a kinder sort of a way. But, I mean, I think seriously, the heart thing is, I mean, talking to loads of people about this, about how the heart is not a pump. And we've
No,
talked about this, haven't
the
we?
brain.
Yeah, well, and it's a vortex. There's a doctor who's dissected it and unfolded it. I have
Mm,
that beautiful video and it's just amazing if you don't mind pieces of
I
deceased
don't.
people being observed like this and it but it is the channel through which the blood is funneled to different parts of the body. The things that do the pumping is the blood vessels. And that is something that people are ready to hear now. When I first discovered it, oh, it was only a few years ago, but things have sped up and people are going, yes, of course, that makes complete sense. And I'm going, I don't even have to convince anybody anymore. But
Don't
I've
you
got a
think
doctor
after
in my
they
pocket who can say, look, I'm a doctor and I've discovered this.
Oh, I know. And we're still so narrow on our lens of life and the need for the proof need, the need
Yeah,
to have everything explained. And it's just like that is
by
you
experts,
void world. That's
by
like cutting off your
experts,
power. Absolutely.
because we are the experts actually of our own experience. And there is a phrase actually going around in pretty mainstream circles, really. Expert by experience and trauma informed work. That it's like not what happened, not, no, go back, not what's wrong with you, but what happened to you to make you feel as you do right now. And that is just a whole revelatory thing for a lot of people because usually people have been used to going, oh, there's something wrong with me. Somebody needs to fix me. And that's not going to wash anymore. We have to take it into our own hands.
We
We
do.
can't do our own surgery. I wouldn't want to. If people need surgery, they need surgery.
But
But
also people need
we
that
can
kind of work.
prevent so much
But also
surgery.
we can know when to ask for help. I think that's the way I
Yeah,
see it, is
that's
the fact
right.
that I have to go to other therapists to help me to be well. There's a lot of things I can do for myself, but some
Yes.
things I do need to put myself in someone else's hands for
Yes.
them to do that, experienced, comfortable, safe hands.
Mm.
So, but it's the taking responsibility for doing something about it and not just sitting there in the energy of, poor me.
I'm falling apart. I
Yeah.
know part of the reason I think I have so much energy today is that I actually managed to get a mini massage yesterday from someone else.
Exactly. And that
I did
really helps.
15 and she did me just at the end of the day.
That's amazing.
Mm.
Well, that helps to boost you. So let's go on to something else controversial. This Russell Brand stuff in the press, which has been, lighting people's bonfires. Well, it
Has
hasn't
it
down
really?
here.
I haven't paid that much attention. I heard an interview with Tucker Carlson, who I'm going to say right now, I absolutely adore. That man has got the biggest heart, and he's trying very hard to interview people from all sorts of different backgrounds that he doesn't necessarily agree with, but he gives them an airing. And he is kind of chums now with Russell because he is a Christian and he holds that very close to his heart. And he's been to the what has been called the Middle East, but is now in my heart, it feels like it's West Asia. And he's been to Jordan and he's been talking to Christians who are being persecuted there just as badly as, well, maybe not quite just as badly, but pretty badly. Um,
Okay.
and anyway, what Russell was saying is that he's going to run for mayor of London.
What? Tucker or Russell?
Oh, Russell, Tucker can't do that. Russell can.
I just, um, I personally, people, yeah, we'll see. We
I,
will see. He's done a lot of remedial work, but he was part of the system. He did abuse his position and people, and there is a crimes that were committed that time needs to be paid for. You can't just
mm,
think you're above it. You have to do
no.
your time.
Mm,
Turning to religion and becoming a Christian, do I believe that? I My jury's still out on that because
mm,
I do believe people deserve forgiveness. Absolutely. You shouldn't, if
yes.
you recognize your sins and you do the time for your crime, perfect. It's fine. Everyone's allowed to grow.
Mm,
Absolutely. But sometimes people tokenly turn to things to mitigate the damage to their reputation.
yeah.
And I remain suspicious of
Yeah.
Christianity.
Yeah, well, yes, as a label that people put on or a cloak that people put on, um, I think they don't fully understand the history of Christianity because it has been used in many ways by people who wanted to control other people.
It's abused
Um,
people. It's
but
abused as
I
a
think
religion.
in its origin, it's a heartfelt thing, and I think
Yes.
that's what we have to keep coming back to. And this location where the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and the Al-Aqsa Mosque are both side by side in Jerusalem are very special places. I believe what I have heard that there is a portal under there and that the Zionist state wants to get its hands on that portal and is trying to stop those other two religions from having any claim to that piece of land, which
It's
is
all very
very
Indiana Jones.
interesting. I just
Yeah, it
find it
is.
all very interesting.
I agree with you, and I'm not naive enough to imagine that there isn't kind of, truth in everything that you're saying. And yeah, it does sound like Indiana Jones, it's like, or Dan Brown or something, these things are real. People are doing these crazy things out there under the name of kind of, wanting to discover, and recover the power that's available in these portals and all this kind of stuff. But I
Mm,
would say that, the religion, the principles that Jesus and Mary Magdalene created were universal principles that
yeah,
are shared across the world. It's the interpretation and the need to put them in a building and
yeah, and
that,
cover it with gold. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. It's
I
like,
mean,
and I'm
the
sure they,
temples, the Buddhist temples in Thailand are absolutely covered in gold. They're
I get,
incredible. So the Buddhists are also this thing about precious minerals is quite, and now currently precious minerals are the ones that are used for these gadgets.
but
They're in
June.
here as well as on the buildings. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but I get the gold because gold is the metal that balances the atmosphere. So spiritually, gold has a huge value. It's incredible for keeping the atmosphere really balanced. So you would put it in a church or a temple to keep the atmosphere completely just the most healing it possibly could be. That's what I believe.
Uh-huh.
However, it was the way it was done, and it was done at the cost of people eating, and it was done in a way that wasn't to share. It was an elitist approach.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, I don't know much about Buddhism, so I'm not going to say that there. They have their own ways of doing things, and I respect that. But certainly over
Mm.
here, and now you have to pay to go in and look at these places.
Oh,
Um,
like York Minster, I know.
yeah, all of these places, and that, okay, is to help with the upkeep because it's so expensive.
Hmm.
But it's just it almost those kind of places should almost be paid for out of the taxpayers' money. And
Yeah.
yeah, all the
As
utility
opposed to
companies
other things that they are spending money on that we don't approve of. I know it's fascinating, really, this whole, and the pyramids had gold tops on
on
them.
tops, yeah,
Yeah,
which makes
yeah,
perfect
which,
sense.
which channeled energy in. So I think
Solar
it's
energy.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I think definitely there's so much more to know about and to see, which is why, back to what we were saying before, we have to keep ourselves well so we can observe all this amazing stuff happening.
I've just noticed the time.
We have to
Um,
stop.
I never want to stop talking to you,
It's so
June.
good.
I
I
don't
love it.
know where everyone else is with this, but hopefully we've made you think about a few things.
Yeah, please give us your comments and thoughts.
We'd love to hear from you. And
Mm.
June, will you post a video of that you were talking
Oh, the
about?
link to what's his name? Yeah, the
Yeah.
doctor with the heart. Yeah.
Yes. The heart vortex thing would be fantastic. All right, everyone, much love,
Okay.
and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
See you
Ciao.
later. Bye bye.